Hi there, ◚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 here. I've been doing a lot of thinking about the digital warriors, the history of us. Where have we all journeyed from? How did we get to the point where we're at? And where are we going to go from here? My own journey started in 2000 or thereabouts, where I started running down rabbit holes looking for the truth that was somewhat elusive to find. And there were many of us that started that around that time, and many more that started long before that time. We looked into all kinds of things. We were looking at the financial system, the truth behind who is behind all of the money globally. We started looking into the potential of satanic rituals, sex slaves, all of the above. That was all part of the journey. It has taken many of us years to accumulate a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight into what is the truth behind it all, and how we've been manipulated as a society to believe things that are not necessarily true. We've been deliberately dumbed down with our universities and our education, and our mainstream media and movies and entertainment have all been designed on purpose to take us away from the truth. We're pitted against each other with every possible scenario of divide and conquer. We have the left versus right. We have the men versus the women. We have the white versus the non-white. We have the Aboriginals versus the new settlers of the lands. We have so much division. And you know what? All of us who've done our research, we now realize that all of it was orchestrated and done on purpose. This dividing of the masses, divide and conquer, was a very easy and obvious function of the way society was being controlled. It's not new. This has been going on for thousands of years. Those of us who have done our homework, we've realized it goes way back to the Egyptian times and early Greek times. The Khazarian mafia, that is becoming extremely obvious for those who do a lot of homework. We know where their roots come from and what they're up to at this time. We understand and have been in touch with the protocols of Zion and the Communist Manifesto, and how both of those are integrated into the whole of the political and financial arena for today. We see the melding of it all coming together. So all of these things have been there for us to research for decades, 100 years plus. When Patton came back from the wars, very unhappy man, because he saw that there was an awful lot of Zionist control in America. He's made those comments, and the whole death of Patton is clouded with uncertainty. Where did we begin? Well, I would imagine we began way back in Egyptian and Greek times. There were some who always were aware of what was going on, and a little bit of that truth was continuing to pour forth so that we could all find it today. It became extremely obvious at the time that our President Donald Trump was deciding to go into office. And you look at the history behind him, behind 2016 when he was elected. He made all kinds of comments about government and what he would do different if he was ever given the chance to. And he had no desire to at that time to even partake in politics. So that leads us up to approximately where we are now. And in the last 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, and now we're into 2021, so the last 5 years. The digital warriors have continued on that path of digging up the truth. We've been sharing the findings. Some of it is elusive, some of it is hard to believe because we've all been taught and programmed through society, schools, media, and entertainment to believe otherwise. And so the digital warriors became stronger in force in 2016, 2017, when 17 came on to the scene of all of the topics. And 17 was interesting because he really never told us exactly what we would find. He pointed all of us in the direction of where to look. And those of us who have been researching the truth behind so-called conspiracy theories from a way back, from 2000, like I said, when I started, and before then, this last 5 years has been extremely enlightening, because through 17, we've all been united. We've all connected more so with each other. We're finding each other's posts, we're finding each other's videos, articles, and news based on our perception. We're finding that much easier to locate and continue our own research with. So from 2017, there's been an acceleration of those of us who have been so-called truth seekers, looking for the elusive, looking for what really is going on behind the scenes, that it is cloaked in the way society is programmed, literally programmed to being. So in the last 4 years, we've been sharing an awful lot of information with each other and with the rest of the world. And the number of people who've jumped on board in this search for truth, or search for the elusive, has accelerated beyond what I would ever imagined it could happen to be. There's millions of us now seeking for the actual truth that's hidden. And so the digital warriors really started to come into play in 2016, 2017 in a big way. And that is the uniting of all of us who have been looking, and looking deep, looking where no one else had been really looking before. Now the news is becoming more and more obvious, and among those who've done the homework for a long time, it makes me really, really happy to see others jumping on board and finding this truth for themselves. I don't want anyone to believe exactly what I want to believe. I want you to do your own homework, do your own research, come up with your own perception of what is true, what is not true. But in the last 4 years, what we've been doing, we've been posting information, we've been posting links to stories, we've been posting links to videos, we've been sharing that all out in the open with social media, and the news is being trying to cover all of that up, because up until 5 years ago, generally speaking, it was elusive. It was hard to find, and now it's becoming obvious. And the work that the media, which is obviously controlled opposition to the truth, it's hard for them now because they're not used to having so many people finding out what's really going on. So the digital warriors had a huge integral part in play right for the last 5 years, exposing the corruption that has been going on for centuries, and more specifically for the last 100 years. But the digital warriors now have to change a little bit of their tactics. What we find is there was a time and place to continue posting articles that were even the similar and with the same content of someone else's articles, but there's so much of that information out there now. It's time that the digital warriors took a little bit of a different look at what their activities needs to be. No longer can just memes with a few words on it help. There are a lot of people who are meme addicts, as I like to call them, and they won't even watch a 10-minute video. They're stuck. They're not any more awake than the sleeping sheep. Those same people, they'll post all of those memes and won't look at any videos. They're the ones that complain about wearing a mask and things like that online. And yet when you go out to the stores, they're the ones wearing their damn masks. They're not awake at all. They're pretending to be awake. They get it conceptually. But that's the point. They only get it in concept. They haven't really got it. Because we have to completely disobey the nonsense if it's going to ever wake up the masses. So those people who are meme addicts, they're not helping. I've played my part and done all kinds of memes too. And they do have their place, but if you follow me on any of the social platforms that I've now been banned from, 4 of them. So if you followed me, you'd realize that just about every time I post a meme, there's a link to a video or a link to a story as well. And watching how people would like and comment or share the graphic, and yet how few people actually looked at the links that I supplied, was pure evidence to me of the shallowness of so many of those who are online thinking that they're doing great things in helping waking people up. They're not. They're unwilling to research. They're unwilling to dig deep. They're unwilling to actually work. So I've created a new group concept, and I'm putting this group up on the platforms that I'm still belonging to, and it's called Digital Warriors United. And the purpose of these groups are to attract the ones who are willing to research, the ones who are willing to dig deeper, the ones who are willing to look for brand new news that hasn't been shared already, ones who are willing to educate themselves on common law, the ones who are willing to dig a whole lot deeper and actually study videos and articles and things of that nature from unknown sources, because a lot of the people who are so far unknown, they will be known because what they're producing is very pertinent information to move forward on. So it's a lot of the new up and rising warriors who are going to be the ones that take the light in a new direction. And I believe it's time that we look for strategies of things that we can actually do, both online and offline. Things that we can do that will move the digital warrior force forward, help bring down deep state faster, make all the weeds be pulled in the Garden of Gaia. Find every damn weed that's out there. Let's pull them. And how are we going to do them? We have to shake them up. So I welcome you to the Digital Warriors United groups, and I look forward to your participation in strategies and in brainstorming of new things that we can do that will make a difference. And also the new information that's still has yet to be disclosed. That's what we need to do now. We need to focus on stuff that's really new, and we need to focus on strategies of what we can do, how we can build a team behind the scenes so that we become a united force, Digital Warriors United. So welcome to the group, Digital Warriors United. And once again, my name is 𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚, the Twisted Lightworker. Peace. peace profound.